Markey Care is a skilled nursing facility, and so we have our skilled folks that come in for a while, do some rehab, and usually go home either with home health or just, to an assisted living or whatever. Then we have our long-term care, and of course those folks are at end of life, but where hospice really comes in is when the patient is definitely at end of life. And my nurses are skilled at taking care of those little folks, but hospice is the expert.
I am a definite fan of hospice, having worked hospice for a number of years as a social worker. It's a really natural fit for us at the cottages. And the idea that somebody would be able to remain in their home, and this has become their home to the end of life, is just really a natural fit. So I usually feel relief, not only for the resident, but for their families. And I feel relief personally when we have the assistance and the extra support.
The reason that I like United Hospice is that you guys think out of the box a little bit. You have the same philosophy that Markey Care does. Our residents are first. They're individuals. They have a long life that they've lived. Each of them are special. Your nurses find that out. They find what these folks have done. If they love pets, if they've had that all their life. So you guys provide the pet therapy, the aromatherapy, the massage therapy.
Hospice is so much more than just pain relief. It's having the conversation. It's getting to know somebody. It's getting out of bed and being chipper at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're called in, which your staff have been asked to do and have readily and quickly done that with a smile on their face. And we have been so grateful.
They come in and are friendly to everybody. They don't just walk down the hall and find the patient that they're working with. My staff interacts with them. I always know that they're in our facility. I always know that they talk to my RCMs or my resident care managers of that hall. The communication has been excellent.
So when your nurse is taking the time to stop by my office and say, oh, by the way, Kathleen, I just want to let you know this is the need of so-and-so, or this is the medication change we've had, or this is the change we're seeing, whether for the good or for the bad, that makes a difference of how effective I can be in my communication. So it's really us working together towards the same goal, and I've really appreciated how hard and diligent they've worked on having good communication.
The first thing is that I can pick up the phone and I can get a hold of you immediately, and then I have a nurse there. I know that you can't drop everything, but I always get an answer, and I always know that I'm with another patient, but I will be there in 15 minutes. I'll be there in 20 minutes. If it's going to be longer, then I know that there's somebody from United that's going to be there. And I think end-of-life care too, even though we're in a long-term care facility, what I've seen too is that United has been very good with help educating my staff. We have a lot of young nurses, and so end-of-life care is totally different. It's a totally different type of nursing. But Tammy has been very instrumental in teaching my staff, and we have now a comfort care room, and the staff is very comfortable with that. They feel very comfortable when we have a patient at end of life, but they know too they can pick up the phone and they're going to get somebody immediately to help guide them if they need that.
Knowledgeable. You can tell they have, my favorite saying has been to the rodeo before. They've done this before, and that's so important, because when you are in your last moments of life, you don't want to believe that somebody is just getting started in this field. You want to believe that there's somebody that is not only friendly and kind, but incredibly competent. Because the last thing you want to believe is that the end of your life will be spent with someone that doesn't know what they're doing. So we have been very appreciative of that you're sending people to us that are of high quality.
I think the biggest question that families and most patients have, will I be in pain? And I think pain management, symptom management is probably the #1 issue that hospice deals with. And I think once we start talking about end of life And once we explain that they are not going to be in pain, we will do everything above and beyond what it takes to make sure that they have a comfort, that they're comfortable and pain-free at the end of their lives. And most of the time, I see that that's what the family and that's what the patient wants.
If I've needed anything, I've had that nurse, calling me back within just such a short time, has never left us hanging, not one staff member of United. And it's so nice to know that we've got somebody on the other end of the phone that's going to be there to help us quickly and efficiently. Having somebody on hospice is probably one of the greatest responsibilities that we could have. And me personally, knowing when I go to sleep at night that I've got 7 people on hospice is a huge responsibility. But knowing that I have a team that's in it with me is what helps me sleep at night.
My philosophy, I've been in nursing for a long time, and my philosophy is that the patient's first, the residents first. And that's your philosophy. And I've seen that. You guys prove that every time one of you come into our facility. You have great respect for the family, and just as I've observed, I've stood out in the hall and listened or observed, there is genuine care there. And the almighty dollar isn't the biggest thing in your company. It's important, we all have to look at that, but the resident is the #1. So, excellent company, excellent agency.